Hi guys, let's talk about the beginning of May. All right, this is the way these videos are going to go. I'm front loading all of the individual signs with the astrology. I'm time stamping. I'm going to time stamp for the astrology. The astrology and the aspects are going to be the same for all the signs. So if you're watching for your sun or your rising, your moon, your Venus, whatever it is now, and you want to check one of your other signs, just go into the description box and you could just click forward to ahead to the tarot portion, because I'm going to be doing, there are going to be 3 sections, okay, for each of the signs. So there's going to be astrology, and then there's going to be career, and then there's going to be a relationship read. All right, so each of those sections are going to be timestamped. Well, the astrology won't be because I'm starting with that, but then I'm going to timestamp for the career and the relationship just for your ease, and so you don't have to sit through the whole video and all the astrology each time and go searching for all of that stuff, okay? So I hope that helps you guys out. But I always like to start with the astrology, guys. You know, my heart is with tarot, but it's also with astrology, right? So I can't separate the two. So I want to just talk about, we're just going to be dealing with the first week of May right now, okay? And so we got some big aspects coming on, and hallelujah, May is going to be so much better than flipping April. It really is. We have a very, very positive full moon happening on the 7th, so I just wanted to talk about that. Now, on the 3rd, on May 3rd, that's the only little bit of a, I'm just going to call it a little bit of a wonky energy. It's Venus square Neptune. Venus is great. Venus, obviously, we talked a lot about Venus yesterday in my Venus video. I'm going to link that above and in the description box, by the way, having to do with Venus retrograde. But Venus is going to be square Neptune. And remember, Neptune is all about illusory and not feeling firmly footed. So we have Venus in there, which is about love and having to do with money and having to do with our self-esteem. So it's like feeling foggy about those things. It's not going to be a very long energy that we're going to have to deal with, and everything else is really positive, but let's just give it a little, you know, a little attention, just so that if you guys are feeling this way, you know that that's what it is, and you're not like losing your mind or spiraling down into a deeper state of depression or whatever you might be feeling right now, which, you know, guys, a lot of people are dealing with those, anxiety, depression. You know, it's a weird world we live in right now, right? All right, so Venus square Neptune on May 3rd. So Venus is, again, it's about love, money, self-esteem in general, but especially love and money. And Neptune is that ruler of the 12th house. It's Pisces house. It's the house of self-undoing. And that could easily make us, on the one hand, feel very victimized, right? And on the other hand, very unclear, since Neptune really is this ungrounded energy, and it really is trying to look at life through like a dirty window or a fog, kind of, right? So there's just not going to be a lot of clarity in the beginning of May, having to do with love and having to do with career. So just know that, okay? Because what ends up happening is, and the reason I say fog, because you know when you look through a fog or a dirty window, you kind of see what's there, but not really. And then what do we do as human beings? We end up filling in what we don't understand, and we fill in information to satisfy ourselves, but we can often be wrong in this energy. So just be mindful of that. So Venus square Neptune transit can lead to feelings of insecurity about yourself, even how you look, guys, like how you look, you know, because Venus is about beauty. It's about the external. So it's possible that you might feel that others are looking at you or thinking about you in a strange way, but please know that this isn't real. And any impressions like this are just going to be very distorted and won't be matching reality. So this wonky, I'm just going to call it poor self-image, can easily lead to relationship difficulties, right? Where you maybe think your partner is looking at you or thinking about you or seeing you in a certain light, and you're not feeling comfortable with it. And this could be a situation where you might be projecting some insecurities onto your relationship. And in the same way, you could also experience disappointments in your love life by forming a distorted image of someone else. And we've been kind of talking about that in the past couple of videos, where we end up projecting onto somebody what we really want them to be, and rather than maybe who they are or who they're even capable of being, and then that can end up leading to frustration. So if you're going through that, you know, just be mindful. It's just Venus square Neptune. And there's also a tendency to over-idealize a romantic interest at this time, right? Really ignoring the obvious flaws that are kind of in plain sight because we have rose-colored glasses on. And, you know, I mean, we talked a lot with the Venus retrograde. as soon as the shadow starts, Venus is going to be like, here, put these rose-colored glasses on. So we just have to be a little careful of that. But regardless, situations leave you susceptible, having to do with love, to major disappointments, where you're either disappointed, or maybe you feel like you're being taken advantage of, or you're being treated like a doormat in some way. But this is the thing. If you're in a healthy relationship, this is really, really short-lived, because assuming that if you're in a relatively normal, whatever the hell that means, but relationship where there's mutual respect, you're going to be able to talk about how you feel. So there's going to be that open communication. So you might be feeling it for a minute, but it's nothing that communication's not going to be able to solve. Now, if you're not in a really trusting relationship, this could be a little more problematic, and matters of trust can easily become an issue. And guys, I do want to say, and this is no judgment at all, but if you're thinking about starting an affair at this time, depending on where you live, depending on the quarantine situation, and I'm even talking about like online kind of affairs, not smart, since it's going to be really difficult to hide and you're going to get busted. So, because remember, Venus goes shadow and goes retrograde. It doesn't go retrograde till the middle of the month, but it's going to be going shadow to shadow the middle of the month. And that's where the lights are just going to start to become brighter and brighter and brighter, having to do with anything that's like shady, okay? So if you're not in a relationship or a solid relationship, you can feel this incredible need for honest tenderness, just an affection, right? So your desire for this is going to end up lifting these energetic blocks that you may be having, that you don't even realize, because we don't even realize when we put these energetic blocks up, right? These energetic do not disturb, right? Because my heart's still broken, or do not disturb because I'm choosing to still have feelings for somebody else. Those are going to kind of be lifted, but you have to stay conscious of this very confusing Neptunian influence. I'm not saying not to get involved with anybody, just be careful. Again, even like I mentioned, having to do with Venus retrograde, that reality is actually what it is, and that you're not filling in or seeing things that aren't there. Because it would be great if you can wait until after this transit before committing yourself like in a new way, or being too trusted to somebody new. And that goes for the newness element, not obviously if you're in a relationship again. Poor self-esteem and lack of self-discipline in this energy big time. So it can be really difficult to stay on that diet, to maybe not drink so much, any kind of partying, anything like that. Shopping therapy, getting online, right, and doing some shopping therapy, anything that makes you feel good. You just more, it's going to be harder for you to control this. You're definitely going to be more susceptible to the depressive influences of alcohol during this energy, and more susceptible to poisoning in general, guys. I mean, I'm not a fear monger. I don't like that. Also, I just want to take this opportunity to say, stay away from fear-mongering sites. These people who are just like all about doom and gloom and everything. Guys, life is cyclical. We are human beings. We are strong. We're resilient. We're going to get past all of this stuff. And if you hyper-focus on any of the negative aspects having to do with readings, or any of the, the negative news that you hear, like attracts like, right? So you don't want to really swim in negativity. You just don't want to do that. All right. But that being said, I do have to remind us, right, that Venus being in square with Neptune does rule disease, right? It's a Pisces energy, and viruses, right? Anything that kind of like hides sort of underneath the surface. So you just want to be a little careful now, because addiction is definitely more likely. Like if you were to dabble in drugs, it's much easier in this energy to become addicted. If you weren't a big drinker beforehand, but you're starting to drink more, that maybe you're out of work or working differently, it's the energy is like can really suck you down that rabbit hole. So just be careful of anything like that, any kind of potential overdoing. Let's just leave it there. Okay, so now let's go on to a couple of things that are way more, if you want to say, positive and less challenging. Not that that one's going to be that challenging, because it's not going to be that long-lived, but that's the most challenging of the week. So we're going to have Sun conjunct Mercury on May 4th. So This is going to put a focus on your thinking and communications. You're going to be very, very busy mentally. We're all going to be very busy mentally. All right. Your mind will be on, you know, what idea is going to favor you the most? What path is going to bring you where you really want to go? Really kind of feeling very comfortable making decisions in this energy, and as far as like, particularly having to do with the pragmatics of your life, right? So I just feel like, you know, clearing out paperwork and bills. You're going to be receiving letters and sending emails, and a lot of us are going to start feeling a little more ready to socially distance and do it responsible, but to get out around town, even if it's just for like short little trips, we're going to start to feel ready to do that. So, you know, because Mercury rules communication, thinking patterns, rationality, reasoning, right? Remember, Mercury rules Gemini, but also rules Virgo, and Virgo is like a very pragmatic sign. It's like, all right, what do we have to do? You know, so you're really going to be in that space. Also, primary and secondary education, your neighborhood, siblings, cousins, short distance, transport, like I mentioned, news and information. These things are all ruled by Mercury, right? They're all, and so the sun is hanging in there with these ideas. So you're probably going to be talking a lot to some family, your brothers, your sisters, your cousins, doing a lot of exchange having to do with education. Those of us who are in higher ed, who are teachers, we're getting ready for our end of the semester. Those, our students are getting ready for studying for finals, or doing those, my case, those final essays and all of that. So lots of busyness there. You're going to be just very fast, lively, adaptable, very almost in an unemotional and curious way. You're just going to be like sucking in information. So I really like it. You're going to want to, just have conversations on topics that interest you, because hello, that's Mercury. It's the intellect, right? It's all of that. So this is a great time to make plans to start business deals, to bargain and sell. This is a great week to do a bit to engage in a business deal. It really, really is. Even though Mercury is going to be going retrograde in Gemini, which is ruled by Venus is going to be, did I say Mercury? Venus is going to be going retrograde in Gemini, which is ruled by Mercury in the middle of the month. But you could start something here that you've already begun the process on, in particular. Especially if you've already, brand spanking new, maybe not so much. But if you've been thinking about it, really good energy to do that. Then on the 7th, we have Mercury sextiling Neptune. We like when the planets have sex. It's good for us. It's very benefic. So this is good for relaxation, creativity, communication, anything spiritual. So for those of you who are going through, Libras in particular, going to be going through this in this energy, like spirituality pursuits, thinking about things, looking at life in a different way. Great energy to be doing that. Your words can be very soothing and can actually become healing to others, to each other. There's just going to be this sense of calming about this. All of your senses become very acute, enabling you to pick up a lot of extra information through your intuition, right? Because Mercury communication and Neptune rules Pisces, that, the eldest water sign. It's about intuition full force. So you might even be receiving a lot of messages through your dreams, through very serendipitous circumstances, but through your higher consciousness. Really nice. Chance encounters, hearing from somebody you haven't heard from in a while. Great time to do anything creative. I mean, anything from writing, artwork, anything differently that you do. We could be creative with anything that we do. So it's just a very, how do I want to say, a time of epiphanies and beautiful rolling out of these seeds that you've been cultivating in your subconscious are going to pop up to your conscious mind, and you're really going to want to really push things forward. So I really like that. You're going to feel so ready for socializing in this energy. Absolutely. And relationships are really going to benefit in this energy as well. Very compassionate, very spiritual. There's a spiritual and compassionate element about this transit, so I do like it. Now we have to talk about the last thing that I want to mention for the week. Scorpio full moon on Thursday the 7th is the first positive moon phase for 6 weeks. Yes. This has a very spiritual, a very healing, a very compassionate influence, because Mercury sextiling Neptune in there as well. It's just like, wow. You know, in Scorpio is that deep water sign ruled by Neptune, which is all about changes and transformation and allowing cycles to end to allow beautiful cycles to begin. Now, that doesn't mean the ending of things. It means the ending of a cycle. So it doesn't have to mean the ending of that relationship, or it doesn't have to mean totally the ending of that job. It's going to resonate with everyone a little differently. But generally, people are going to be more sympathetic and understanding in this energy, and it'll make you more sensitive and better able to understand any areas that you have conflicting emotions in, which isn't that awesome, right? Clarity is always a friend, right? But importantly, it's really going to help you to see a brighter future, you know, which is awesome. Things are just going to start to feel and look a little brighter, like you see the light at the end of the tunnel for, you know, the end of the virus, right? They're calling the new normal, whatever the heck you want to call it, is really going to start to make sense. And we're going to start to feel a little more comfortable about taking those chances and doing things responsibly as a people, you know, responsibly. You know, trusting that people are just not going to be irresponsible, you know. But what does this full moon mean? Sun opposite moon brings your home, your family, your intimate relationships into sharper focus for the following 2 weeks of this moon phase. Opposing forces such as work versus home, you know, even if you're working from home, you know, which working from home, I find it kind of like weird to balance out, like, am I working, am I not working? I'm like putting dinner on while I'm like working, and it's just like, it's strange. So you're going to be looking at that balance, not in a bad way, in a good way, in like a problem solving way. So I do like that. And what you need versus what you want, right? A lot of us are going to be in that phase, creating this inner tension and external pressures, or any area where there's a creation of internal versus external pressures is going to be looked at right now, and in a really positive way. Now, you just want to be careful. For a minute, this could lead to conflict and crisis that drain your energy, but it's only because you're doing some really good active thinking. So it's more of like a mental kind of drain, but it's not bad. It's good because it's towards something good. But if you're feeling extra tired, I always say that in full moon energies, you know, unless you have natal retrogrades in, you know, like a Cancer energy in the 4th house, you might feel really more energetic during a full moon. But generally speaking, most people feel kind of tired. You know, you just do. So let's talk about a couple of aspects going on here. We have the full moon opposite Mercury. This makes the understanding and communication, your feelings, a major theme in this phase. Inner conflicts between your thoughts and feelings might occur. You might feel kind of polarized in your thinking. That's completely natural now. It really, really is, because the moon is I feel and Mercury is communication. So it's what you feel deep inside, and it's how you're communicating with the external world. But this is good, because this is really going to be helping you to get in touch with areas that there are imbalance. You know, misunderstandings and arguments can happen, but the harmonious aspect of Neptune reduces this. So even though that might be happening where there might be some conflict, Neptune comes in and just like, okay, kids, you know, I'm the dreamer. Let's just take a deep breath and just meditate. You know, I'm joking, but you know what I mean. It kind of soothes the influence a little bit, which I do like. This is a really good moon for spending time in reflection, talking to really good friends about how you feel, getting in touch with where you sense you're holding back in life, whether it has to do with your job or relationship, with your sense of self, anything. Now, this full moon trine Neptune heightens your emotions, imagination, creativity. This reduces anxiety and makes misunderstandings less likely. You know, and if disagreements do occur, this harmonious and compassionate and very spiritual influence is going to incite forgiveness. It's going to incite cooler heads prevailing. It's just going to diffuse things really quickly, and which is great because we haven't had an influence like this in a while, to be honest. You may dream up or fantasize about an ideal partner, but are just as likely to meet somebody special now. So whether it's in your fantasy mind or in real life, relationships formed during this new moon phase have a very soulmate feel to them. Very soulmate feel. So friends may come to you for advice during this energy as well, a shoulder to cry on. You know, maybe you're dealing with some friends who are, you know, struggling right now, either with the virus or with money. You know, and again, I say that as a New Yorker because a lot of us know people who have the virus now because we're just so slammed with it. But I know a lot of you guys are super fortunate in places where it's been better contained. But regardless, your caring, sympathetic side is very enhanced during this new moon energy. A lot of empathy, a lot of caring, and it's going to come very naturally, so really nice. And then finally, we have Mercury sextiling Neptune. It's virtually exact. So this is occurring just 3 minutes before the full moon, so very close there. So this positive aspect far outweighs the challenging influence of the full moon opposite Mercury. Any of those little snafus that I said about communication, this outweighs it. So yeah, just generally people are going to be good during this energy. Very sympathetic, understanding. You're going to be very sensitive, especially those of you who, I don't know, as we say, are awake, are in touch, are spiritually aware. You're going to feel very sensitive to the vibrational energies going on now, to other people in your environment. Man, especially those water signs, right? Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, you're going to be vibing the energy a lot around you. Not in a bad way, in a good way. You're going to be able to sort of, and it's going to be helpful to the people in your life because you're going to be able to tap into your intuition in a way where you're just going to be able to sense if somebody needs something. Right? Which is really beautiful. So I do like this. And, you know, generally, we're all going to be feeling a more idealistic view of the world. Now, that has a lot to do with, okay, I mean, Mercury sextiling Neptune, but I have to say that also, you know, Venus is going to be retrograde. So there's going to be some, you know, sweet-colored rose juice thrown on everything, you know, right now, which is nice. You know, you could trust your feelings right now, guys. Seriously, like, we're all going to be feeling very sensitive. And trust your feelings, right? Because this aspect gives Mercury sextile Neptune gives very accurate intuition and perception skills, which I really like. A lot of you guys are going to be tapping into your psychic abilities where you're going to sense something before it happens. You're going to sense somebody reaching out to you before they do. You're going to be sensing these things. Lots of dreams here, lots of dreams with messages. So if you're remembering your dreams, really sit down with yourself quietly and think through. If you want, write it out, but figure out what message is trying to be sent to you, given to you in that moment. Yeah. I mean, I really like it. Very healing energy, very healing, great for romance, great for intimacy, great for feeling connected. And if nobody's in your life, you could be feeling super tight with your kids, really close to your friends, just very up in your feels in a positive way about everything. And again, last little bit, this is a great full moon. For those of you who are creatively inclined, artistically inclined, writers, anything, great pursuits for energy to pursue things like literature, drama, poetry, singing. In the same way, relaxation, yoga, meditation. Great. This is a great time, guys. For those of you who never believed in meditation, were never on board with it, didn't get it, couldn't relax well enough to stay in place to do it. I get it. We've all been there at one point, right? Before we learn the process. So this is a great energy to do it. And there are so many great videos that can help you through that. So why not, right? If you have the time, why not? All right, guys, that is the astrology section. So now I'm going to go pull signs. Pull cards for each of your signs, okay? See you guys on the other side. Okay, bye-bye. Hi, Leo. Let's get right into your career. Our Leo friends for the first week of May 2020, May 1st through 7th. Anything that Leo needs to know about career. I did already pre-shuffle these, but let's give a couple on camera. Okay. Alrighty, let's see what we have. Justice, all about fairness being crossed by the King of Cups. Okay, I like it. Ooh, Leo, we got the world. We got the world. 3 of Cups. What? All right, what's happening here? What's happening that we get the 4 of Wands reversed? We're going to have to pull some clarifiers on that. All right, so coming into this energy, we have the Sun reversed. Now the Sun, Sun is your ruler, okay? So in reverse, this tells me that, first of all, let me just say that the Sun, if you don't know it already, the Sun and the World, this card and this card that's crowning your reading here, your career reading, 2 of the most benefic cards in the deck. Benefic means super positive, okay? So great, even in the reverse. Now, but in the reverse, what this indicates is that there's something that is in your way from being able to have that beautiful, for lack of a better term, it's almost like a metaphorical home feeling within your career. Now, what do I mean by that? Something is happening, something has changed in your career. It could be that you're working differently. Maybe you were laid off. You were just with everything with the virus, it's changed the dynamic and the energy of how you do your job if you're still working. But whatever it is, it's this idea of you holding on to the way something was. It's you holding on to having a really hard time letting go. For many of you. For others of you, it's going to be a very definitive something that's in the way, in your path from turning this upright, which is about you moving forward and being on that metaphorical path of home, meaning that you're going to be doing your career in the way and the manner in which you feel like, yeah, this is where I belong. This is awesome, right? Something is in the way. Now, for some of you, it could just be the whole dealio with the virus, you know, and all that means. For others of you, this could be a person who's standing in your way. And for others of you, it could just be you not wanting to let go of the reality that a job that wasn't maybe working out for you in the way that it should have been needs to be let go of. But whatever it is, it's this idea that there's been some shifting within your workplace, within your career, and you know there is something getting in the way of you being able to move forward and feel like, yeah, this is where I belong. So we have the situation right now is the Justice. This is a Libra energy. So the glyph is the scales, right? And remember, Venus rules Libra, and Venus is a money planet. Venus is one of the money planets, also where our self-esteem hangs out. It has to do with love, but it has to do with self-esteem and money as well. So we have that, right? The current situation. So you being very in a space of tapping into what's fair, what's right. And then we have the King of Cups energy. So the King of Cups energy is, you know, really about, first of all, it's a water energy, right? Because cups are emotions, but it's Libra and Scorpio. And going back to this, Libra and Scorpio, Justice is a Libra energy. So we really have this strong idea of what's fair, what's not, and what needs to change, because Scorpio is ruled by Pluto, and Pluto is a card of transformation. So, but I like this, it's in the upright. So I feel like this is you saying, okay, whatever has been presented within your career, within your job, right? Whatever it is, you're really front and center focused on what's fair, having to do with money, having to do with expectations, you know, and or all of these things. Being very front and center with that right now. You know, what is the right thing to do? Really, what is the right thing to do? And you're sensing the transformation. I mean, Scorpio energy, again, is about there's change happening. A cycle, the way things were in your job, that's done. That's over. Okay, fine. So a new cycle is happening, and you're just like very front and center on it being handled in a very fair way. Now, crowning you, we have the World. I love this because the World this is a Saturn energy, and this is the gift that comes after putting in the hard work in something, right? Saturn is all about restriction, delay. It's dealing with karma. It's doing all of that. So Leo, what I'm getting here is that you really put your blood, sweat, and tears into that career. You put the time in, you put the effort in, you did all of that. And what's crowning you is payback. You are going to be paid back for that. Saturn gifts are the biggest, most beautiful gifts that we can get. Everyone talks about Jupiter. Jupiter is super benefic, and we consider, Saturn a malefic planet. I don't at all, because once you get through doing all of the hard work and all of the challenges, no matter what it is that you're doing, and you maybe had a really rough go doing it, there is this gift on the other side that lasts decades and decades and decades long. We like that. And then we have the Three of Cups energy. This is a Mercury in Cancer. Mercury is about communication. Cancer is about safety, that metaphorical home space, right? So there's a celebratory vibe to this. There's a sharing of emotions. There's this communicating. And the fundamental foundation here is feeling in a position where you feel safe, and you feel at home, right? So two really beautiful energies is crowning and the foundation. Very nice. Now you right now, you're the High Priestess, and this is a moon energy. So you're very deep up in your feels right now, Leo. You're really doing a lot of thinking, so much deep introspection. The moon rules that which we feel, and it's what we do in private. It's what we feel in private. It's, the little caveat with this though is that you're feeling, okay, I'm getting that a lot of you are feeling the need to make a transition for a number of reasons, and it's not only for money, it's not only because of COVID. I think a lot of you guys are just really very focused on really what your next step is, and really trying to get in touch with that higher self, feeling very deeply inside of yourself. What is your truth? What is your truth? And the thing is with the High Priestess, though, it's easy for us to, and we're all like that in this energy, it's very easy for us to almost play mental games with ourselves here and not be totally honest with ourselves about, where we might self-sabotage ourselves in work, or where we might need to be less, have less egotism, or where we might not serve ourselves, where we might not be seeing the reality of everything, because we're not bouncing these ideas off of anyone. This is like a very deeply introspective energy, right? It really is. You are feeling, though, from an external energy, this feeling of lack. Five of Coins is this mental space of lack. This is feeling unsupported, right? Feeling very unsupported. And this is, the communication has to happen here, right? Because this is Mercury and Taurus. Taurus is a pentacle energy. Mercury is about communication. But with the 5, whenever we have 5, we have some sort of discord. There's some sort of conflict. So there's this misunderstanding. So I feel like you're going to feel very misunderstood by somebody external to you, having to do with your career. You're going to have a misunderstanding as far as money goes. You're going to have a misunderstanding as far as the support that you need in order to do your job. There's going to be some sort of external miscommunication with somebody external to you, because whenever we have 5, we have that sense of conflict, right? And now we have the Three of Wands is in your fear, and this is a beautiful energy. This is about being appreciated, getting your name out there. This is about this is a very busy energy. This is in your fear position, though, a busy energy, being like dealing with a lot of communication, but it's all for forward movement, right? Because it's Sun in Aries, so it's like all of these epiphanies and illumination for this new path, and you're afraid of that. So I feel like on one hand, you want to make changes, but on the other hand, you're afraid of the new, which I understand that. And the outcome energy is the Faith card. Now, I like this because this is astrologically, this is connected to Taurus, and Taurus is ruled by Venus, and Venus is one of the money planets, so hey, why not? Who doesn't love Taurus energy anyway? It's like earthy, it's pentacle, it means money, right? It means feeling good about yourself, right? But having to do with faith, it has to do with you looking at your belief system and what you know to be true about career and about what you want in your career. And you're getting very honest with yourself, so I do like this. This ends up being a really I don't want to say this because, I'm like, it's kind of bookending it here with the High Priestess energy. So I feel like you're going to be becoming very honest with yourself about what it is that you want for your life moving forward. Struggling maybe in the moment to see with any clarity right now, right? Again, because there's not complete clarity when we have the High Priestess energy. So if you're feeling confused right now when you're hearing this or into the beginning of May, don't worry, right? I feel like this is going to end up passing, but you're going to end up realizing that what it is that you're doing is not going to end up bringing you the firm foundation that you're looking for and that you need. You're going to be feeling very pulled to have to make some sort of change, some sort of adjustment in your path. Because firm foundation does not only mean money. You know, wands are well, and it's passion and it's motivation, it's desire. So even if the money's coming in, your desire for it is going to sort of, you know, wane a little bit, you know, and this could be because of what's going on with the virus. But you're just feeling like, yeah, I'm not going to be in that space of like expansion, feeling safe, feeling connected, feeling passionate about what I'm doing. Like, it's you losing the gumption for what you're doing here, Leo, you know. Knight of Wands. Let's just pull some cards and see what we get, if we can get some explanation of that Four of Wands in reverse. Yeah. So we have the Knight of Wands. You know, whenever we have Wands in reverse, right? So it's reverse. This indicates a lot of delay. So this delay here is what I'm getting, right? Scorpio and Sagittarius. Sagittarius is about forward movement. Scorpio is about transformation. So there being this delay in you being able to move forward, right, in something. Definitely this delay. Could be the quarantine, could just be because of the nature of your work. And we have the Four of Cups in reverse. And in the reverse, this just means an intense feeling of disappointment, boredom, disillusionment, identifying what you don't like about the job anyway, identifying what it is that you think is off with whatever position you've been in anyway, right? And a lot of times this energy means like you're identifying negative things as a way of making yourself feel better, which, you know what, you know, whatever you need to get by, honestly, but it's that checklist card. It's getting very particular and picky about things that you didn't like, right? And saying like, well, because of that, there's no way that I could, you know, could be in that. But then we have the Hermit in the reverse. So this is really taking, this is the shh, don't tell anybody energy, but it's you isolating yourself almost, where you even if you are, let's say you guys are quarantining, and let's say you're quarantining with your whole family, this is you still isolating yourself even further, right? You being just very inside your own mind and really not talking about what it is that you're really feeling deep inside with anyone, right? And you're really trying to unknot some knots, and you're trying to heal a part of yourself so that you could gain the strength to enter into this next cycle, you know, having to do with this career. And just, I feel like your life path, Leo, I have to tell you, I think it's bigger than just your career. I feel like this is certainly going to inflect, and unemployment always does. It doesn't live in a vacuum. But I feel like you're thinking more globally than a lot of the other signs right now. And then we have the Knight of Coins in reverse. Yeah, I mean, the money's just not coming in the way. You know it's not going to end up coming in the way that you need, right? And because this is you guys, right, and Virgo, but you know, this is the thing. Every sign has their, you know, light side and dark side, and we all do, all of us, right? But Leo, you guys, when you're dealing with like a reversal energy, it's fear times 10, right? So, and how that often shows up is in the way of ego, right? Is in the way of ego. And then we have Virgo reverse, which is a pentacle energy, but it's also ruled by Mercury. So this can indicate some sort of manipulation being at play here, having to do with your career, some sort of untruths coming to light, right? That's going to inhibit your ability to move forward in the near future. So this is going to be causing you a lot of stress and strain for sure, right? We have the Knight of Swords energy. This is the 3 a.m. card, you know, trying to figure it all out in the middle of the night, right? Very intrusive thoughts. Lots of anxiety, depression, but in the reverse, it's a lot more positive, because this indicates that the hardest part of the cycle is over, and you are feeling a certain increased sense of clarity right now, which I like, because that increased sense of clarity is allowing you to see your way forward. 2 of Wands energy is awesome. This is a Mars and Aries energy. This is you seeing, like seriously seeing this new path in front of you. And remember, Aries is the Emperor energy. So the Emperor's like, da-da-da, let's go. We'll think about the minutia later. Let's just get started on this new path, right? Having a strong fire in your belly to do that. So there's something is going to be hitting you here, where you're going to be realizing, I mean, look at you, just when you look at the energies we have the sun and the world. The sun and the world. I just feel like there's something you need to work through, Leo. There's something that you need to let go of. There's some sort of difficult personality you have to let go of. Something like that. As soon as you do that, this new path is going to open up to you. But you're doing some really good thinking about it, which I like, right? I really do like that. Right? We got the High Priestess, we have Faith, we have the Hermit reverse, we have the Nine of Swords in reverse, which is about, you know, you're starting to come out of it, you're starting to sense this clarity. So I think that this is ultimately going to end up being a period where you're going to look back in the future and say, wow, how necessary was that? That was a very life-changing event. You know, I definitely see that happening for you. Having to do with your career. Totally necessary. Lots of shifts going on for sure. Right, so let's go to relationship, okay? Those Leos who are either in relationship, open to relationship, somebody's in your energy field. And where I do love only, tarot only, no astrology, once a month for each sign, where I deal with just singles and then just couples with separate readings. So if this is not your reading, I should have those out by next week, okay? It's general messages, guys. Please don't try to make it fit if it doesn't fit. So we're going to do past, present, future, and then we're going to do some clarifiers. We got the Hermit here. A Hermit in the past. Oh, well, for goodness sake. Seriously? Got the World energy for you in the past. All right, so starting with the past, we have the Hermit energy. It's a Virgo energy. Might be dealing with Virgo. But this is about you taking some real initiative in the relationship to focus on the relationship. Now that's going to resonate with many of you, where you were in this space of saying, all right, you know what, let's get our act together, let's try to clean up what's not working out here, and let's try to focus on the relationship. So some of you, right, in the past or in this space in relationship. For others of you, you might have been in this space of purposely being on your own for a little bit, you know, just kind of being on your own. And the reason I have to give both of those interpretations, because quite honestly, that is what the Hermit energy for relationship does mean. We always want to associate it with the cards around it, right? So we have the Queen of Cups reverse, and this indicates that either you or the person that you were dealing with were not fully sharing your emotions here, right? This is Gemini and Cancer energy. So this could be that you were sensing somebody was either being manipulative with you, they weren't telling you all of the information, and it was making you feel very unsafe, Leo. Right? Because whenever we have Cancer reverse, Cancer represents home, safety, love. And in the reverse, it's like, no, that doesn't make me feel very safe. I'm not feeling very good right now. So the very deep level of introspection is going on with you. And then we have the World energy. Now, we have to acknowledge what the world is connected to as far as astrology goes. Astrologically, this is associated to Saturn. So Saturn, it's all about, okay, you can have the world, but you have to be willing to put all of the work in. And this was one of the epiphanies that you guys realized, right? Where it's like you're in this Hermit energy and you're realizing how much work this relationship is actually going to take in order to be successful. And this realization was very front and center for you. You started to really feel what was going to be required in order to make it work. So this created some, now we're going into the present now. Understandably so. This is creating a sense of, you know, anxiety. You know, again, this 3 a.m. card, it's like, wow, I'm really stressed out and very confused. This can be a lot of anxiety, a lot of depression, lots of confusion as well. But this is the thing. This is a Mars and Gemini energy. Gemini, again, rules the truth and communication. And Mars is about trying to figure out a new approach with a fresh perspective, right? Trying to create a fresh perspective, trying to figure out how can I have that new path, right? How can I have that new thing, right? But it's having this conversation with yourself, and it's creating a lot of anxiety. Again, a lot of depression for some of you, very intrusive thoughts, all consuming. You're very focused on what's fair. Justice is a Libra energy. The glyph for Libra is the scales. Libra is ruled by Venus. This has to do with self-esteem. This has to do with love. Has to do with money as well. Are all of these things being handled fairly in your relationship? Is money being handled in an equitable way? And what I mean by equitable, I mean, like, let's say if your partner makes, you know, $200,000, whatever the heck it is, okay, and you make $50,000 or $60,000, you should each be contributing 30% to the household. So will your partner be contributing more? Absolutely, right? But it doesn't mean that you're not in comparison to what you're making. And, you know, are you in a space where you feel like, you know, this is understood, that this is being honored? So is everything on point there with money? Is that fair? Do you feel like that you're being treated respectfully, with kindness, with love, right? Because Venus, you know, are you being made to feel special? Do you know, does your partner tell you that? Are they communicative, that you're beautiful, or that, you know, you're handsome, or you're sexy, whatever it is that, you know, that your language is within your relationship? How are you feeling? You really in a space of thinking very deeply about this. Oh, and then we have the Hierophant coming up again. Incredible. Separate reading, separate deck. So yeah, definitely in your feels about what's right, what's not right. And really trying to get in touch, right? Because this is a Taurus energy. It's the youngest Earth energy. So it's about, from a very practical, grounded perspective, how are you feeling about this relationship? Taurus is ruled by Venus. Is it bringing you that self-esteem that you know, really, is it helping your self-esteem, or is it making you feel bad about yourself? Is it making you feel loved, or is it not? The Hierophant energy is about thinking about all of these things. It's thinking about your belief system. It's thinking about what societal norms are, what society expects from you. It's thinking about what your family thinks, right? It's the thinking of belief system. And it's trying to match it up with your own belief system. And is it fair? Leo, I feel like you're right now, you're very in the space of deep thinking about what's fair, what's not fair. Now, in the near future, we have the Knight of Coins, the Six of Coins, and the Three of Swords, okay? So we have the Knight of Swords energy, the Nine of Coins energy here, rather. So the Knight of Coins is a Leo and Virgo energy. So Leo, you know, you guys are about wanting to really exercise your individuality, exercise what it is that you want. Nothing wrong with that. You guys are ruled by the sun, so you have a lot of ideas. You want to put yourself out there. But I feel like you're going to be dealing with, there's going to be a lot of communication regarding what this really even means, having to do with money. So I feel like a lot of you guys are going to be in a space where you're going to be having this discussion about money. And, you know, because Virgo is a pentacle energy as well, but it's ruled by Mercury. So there's going to be communication going on here having to do with this, you know, and with you guys, you know, it being in you guys with Leo. If you don't like how the communication is going, this can definitely incite some egotism, either from you or from them. And rightfully so, if you feel like you're being treated unfairly. So is somebody expecting you to bring more money? Are you expecting somebody else to make more money? Is there some sort of issue with money within this connection? I do feel like it. Now, at the same time, if money's not an issue, this could absolutely be the same thing having to do with mental, emotional, and physical connection, where you're like, guess what? You don't make me feel good about myself. Yeah, okay, we should all make ourselves feel good, yada, yada. Self-love comes first, all that stuff. But keeping it real, we want our partners to show that they're happy being with us, that they're attracted to us, that they appreciate us, right? You want to have that in a partner, for goodness sake, and you should be doing that to your partner, right? And it's looking at all of that. Is that happening? Are you getting this connection? You know, what's your sex life like? How do you guys communicate? How do you guys connect on a social level? Is it there or is it not? And this conversation needs to be happening at this time. And it will be. It will be. And we have the Six of Coins. So the Six of Coins, I like this because this is about reciprocity. So I feel like you guys are going to be doing some thinking about these things, and you're going to reach a point where you're going to say, okay, you know, I have your back, you have mine. Let me be, you know, let's be more supportive of each other. Let's try to get it together in that way, right? You guys having that conversation with guys, then we have the card of pain. So is your partner dealing with an outside energy? Is there somebody that they're flirting with? Are you flirting with somebody, Leo? Is there this outside energy, right? Because let's call it what it is. The Three of Swords is the Saturn and Libra energy. So this is having a tough go in the relationship. Libra is that 7th house relationship sector. It's all about Venus here, right? It's all about what's fair, what's not. Saturn is about restriction. It's about needing to really look at things being uncomfortable for a little bit, right? Now, this is the card of betrayal and pain. So you have to look at this. Doesn't have to be a third party. This could certainly be somebody being incredibly, maybe dishonest or irresponsible, having to do with money, having to do with some sort of family connection. It doesn't necessarily have to do with a third party, though it can, right? But it's this idea of somebody not showing up in the way that you really need them to. So it's like the conversations happen and the intentions are laid, but there's little follow through ultimately, right, over the long term. So let's see what we have as the qualifiers. Oh, 10 of Wands. 10 of Wands. It became too heavy. It became too, yeah, you needed to put the wands down. So that really, let's just put this here, 10 of Wands. Yeah. I mean, that's just became too heavy to continue moving forward. Saturn in Sagittarius came too heavy. Lots of truth came to light. Lots of truth came to light. Queen of Swords. Yeah, Leo, I mean, listen, you like having them, you had them figured out the second they walk in the room. You knew something was going on. You've known something is going on that needs illuminating. And this is really the time where things are going to be illuminated for sure. You know, they really are. This time period is going to be a time period of illumination. We have the 5 of Coins. At the end of the day, you were just not feeling connected. The 5 of Coins energy is, it's a Mercury energy. It's Mercury in Taurus. Whenever we have Mercury reversed, there's manipulation. So somebody trying to manipulate you, having to do with either mental, emotional, physical connection or money. Somebody trying to put something on you that they shouldn't have been. And you feeling like your voice didn't even matter. And we have the Death reverse. Scorpio energy, this is Pluto. This is something ending, but something not beginning. It's like this, the next cycle doesn't actually really end up happening, because the hard work that's necessary for that world energy is not going to be put in. It's not going to be put in. Let me just, let's pull some oracles, okay? Let's pull some oracles and some tarot. Well, everything's going to be in the upright here. And see if we can figure something out, okay? Give thanks for the blessings of love soon to come your way. Know that you deserve to be and have all that your heart truly desires. Yeah. Transformation. Twin flames. No, Leo, is there another energy involved there? I don't know. I feel like there is for you. It's somebody that is at least on your mind. I don't know. Let's see, whatever we need to know about relationship. We have addiction and hammer. Addiction, codependent, obsession, possession, controlling, has a block, restraint. Again, guys, addiction can mean anything from alcohol to drugs to sex addiction, food addiction, some sort of eating disorder. You could be addicted to exercise. We could be addicted to social media. We could be addicted to gaming. We could be addicted to anxiety, right? It's really, addiction just means a level of imbalance. It's all it really means. That's all it really means. But let's pull 2 of Swords, being confused about what your truth is. Knight of Wands, coming in. Ooh, then we got your card. Okay, Leo. All right, addiction. So we have give thanks for the blessings of love soon to come your way. Then we have addiction. Then we have hammer. Hammer, sabotage, rebuilding, interrogation, repetitive, this persistent, constantly feeling like you're always working on it, and you getting into this space of, what do I really want? Pressing the pause button and saying, okay, self, what is your truth? What is your truth, and how do you really feel about this relationship? Literally, this is a moon, I feel, Libra relationship. And this is 2 swords, 2 truths. So you may be dealing with, should I stay or should I go? Should I stay in this relationship or should I go in that relationship? Should I just get out of this relationship and just be by myself? Right? It's those two sword energies is what I'm feeling here. We have the transformation and we have lightning, sudden change, shocking news, surprise epiphanies, transformation. This is another transformation card, upheaval. Something is going to be coming to light. Then we have camera, perception, learning from the past, learning from the past. So you're reflecting on what you've been through and you're learning from it. Then we have a Knight of Wands energy, my friends. What? Scorpio and Sagittarius. Scorpio is about transformation, another transformation energy, something ending so that something else can be born that's going to move you forward on your path that's really positive, because Sagittarius, moving forward in a Sag energy, is about moving forward with integrity, with Jupiter on your back, right? Because it's Jupiter blessings, luck and expansion. This is somebody coming, you're going to, lots of passion. Lots of passion. I feel like there are two energies here. We have two twin flames, passion ignites, but you're going to be caught between these two energies. Then we have Grim Reaper. The relationship is over. No second chances. Grow and transform your life. So I feel like these are new energies. We have transformation. How many times did we have transformation here? 4 times. Four. Crazy. We have love, unconditional love, self-love, oneness, passion, affection, attraction. And then we have the strength energy, which is you guys, Leo, and you guys are all about passion. You guys are ruled by the sun. It's about having epiphanies. It's about doing it scared. But there's definitely like a forward movement here. There's a forward movement here. Yeah. 2 of Cups. Yes, listen, whatever you were in is over. Whether you're leaving it right now or not, it's over. 10 of Swords, 1 sword at a time over time. There's history here. There's history here. There's history in the addiction energy. There's history in the sabotaging energy. Then we have these other new energies coming in. We have a 2 of Cups, followed by Venus in Cancer, followed by a King of Cups. What? Yes. This is a Libra and Scorpio energy, so this is about doing something different in relationship. 2 of Cups. There's a newness here. There's a newness to the 2 of Cups energy, Venus in Cancer. This is you guys promising each other, making you that promise. This is commitment. This is like, yeah, we're going to do this. We're going to be a couple. We're going to give this a shot. But there's a newness here to it, not the old cycle. This is something else that's new. So I feel like there's going to be transitioning out of something that you were in, and you're going to be moving into something new. And that is what I have for you, my Leo friends. Best of luck to you. I hope this was helpful in some way. Thank you so much for joining me. You guys take care. Bye-bye.